Okay, we've been invited primarily to do what has been said so many times, to kind of put a face to words like incident. So it's not just some vague term, but that you can see people that are directly affected by it. I have to say, though, telling our story after hearing the other two stories of situations makes us feel like maybe we should just leave. Yet, for us, it has been disastrous in so many ways. Because of that, before we jump right into that, we'll try to make this move quickly because we know you've been here for a while. Before we go into how hard it's been for us, I want to acknowledge there's been two highlights to this whole experience for us. One of them is the city appointing Robin to her position because she has been phenomenal for us. And the other one is being invited here to be able to tell our story, and given the hope that maybe our little story might in some way make a difference on some level. Other than that, it's been a pretty hard go, to be quite frank. So here's what happened. Here's our story. Robin kind of alluded to you, or told you much of this. We had an oil spill from a Chevron pipeline that leaked into the creek, Red Butte Creek, that ran through one of the most established neighborhoods in Salt Lake and runs right through our backyard. 33,000 gallons of crude went into Red Butte Creek. Here are a couple of images, one from a neighbor and one from a local news media that kind of show the condition of the creek directly after the spill. When it first happened, we were clueless. We know nothing about these things. We went down and hung out. We go, oh, this is pretty interesting stuff. Didn't really know what to think about it. Didn't think it would have a big impact on our life. Within a very short time, and we do this with a little bit of humor, we felt more like this guy. Both figuratively and literally, a duck like this figured into our life, and I'll have Nina talk about that briefly.
So the real impact of the spill was on these guys. These are our sons. The younger one, Grady, the day of the spill, had a bad stomach ache, and I thought he had a stomach bug. On Sunday, the next day, we all walked down to the creek, and we found this duck, and Grady was very concerned about the duck and wanted to help this duck, even though he wasn't feeling well himself. He spent about 30 minutes down there trying to help this duck survive. The next day, on Monday, he was scheduled to go to a summer science camp, and he wasn't feeling well enough to go. On Tuesday, I encouraged him like only a mother can. I said, go to camp. You're going to feel better. Get out there. Get this behind you, whatever the stomach bug is. I feel so stupid now looking back on this, but I said, go to this camp and you're going to feel better. He did. He gathered up the energy and he went to the camp. I had no idea that day that camp would walk to Liberty Park, where there is a pond that collected what became the holding tank for the spill. Yeah. We picked him up about an hour later. He had vomited everywhere. We moved into a hotel room. We finally put two and two together. And we took him to a pediatrician. The pediatrician said, what do you want me to do? We called the mayor's office. We said, our son's sick. What do we do? He said, I'll get back to you. And he called back. He said, call the Salt Lake Health Department. I called them. They said, we'll get back to you. They called me back. They said, okay, here's an email. Here's a 500-page report from the BP oil spill that will tell you about the health effects. And they said, maybe you might want to consider calling Chevron. I didn't think that was a good idea. My neighbor told me, this was about 11 or 12 days later, he said, why don't you have your son tested? Not my pediatrician, not the mayor, not the Salt Lake Valley Health Department, but my neighbor said, have your son tested. Well, I had my son tested, and they found nothing.
This is 10 days later.
In his system. They found nothing in his system. Like, I had my house tested. They said, no problems. I called this toxicologist at the U, not the wonderful toxicologist that the city hired, but the toxicologist at the U. I called him back and I said, okay, he's got nothing in his blood, but he's got these horrible symptoms. What do I do? This was his suggestion to me. put some flowers in his room and give him some mints.
So, as parents, we're starting to get pretty troubled here, right? We're going, what do we do? It's been 2 weeks. He's sick. How do we deal with this? So we did the only thing we knew to do at this point.
We moved into a hotel.
We stayed in a hotel as long as we could until we were told your time's up.
For 4 weeks, and they kept telling us our time was up. We kept moving back into the house, and the kid would just writhe on the
He'd
floor.
literally fall to the ground and get sick and vomit and writhe.
And they would
when he
test, and they
smelled.
would say, your tests are fine. And Grady would come, and he would be awful.
So when the hotel ran out, we did the next best thing. We took a vacation to Hawaii
we
just
just
to
went to
get
California.
away. We
just
had
went
to
to
get out of here. We had to get away. So we stayed away from our house as long as we could for the summer. We finally had to go back. We went back, and we just told our kids, avoid your backyard. This was difficult. Our backyard is a Tom Sawyer wonderland. They have tree houses with zip lines in and out of it and archery courses, and they've named every part of the creek their own names, and they spend every day of the summer down there. But we said, you can't go in your backyard. We'll do the best we can to keep you out of it and try to keep you healthy. The other hard part of this was, and this is one of the great ironies in the world, I have serious chemical sensitivities from some construction things I did when I was young. We built our own home, hand drew, and literally built the home from scratch ourselves with no off-gassing of any sort or chemical influence in the home. All the paints are no VOCs, all the cabinetry, everything in it was built in a way so it'd be as pure as possible, except for 33,000 gallons of crude in the backyard. It still is. So this home also is a passive solar home. What that means is there's no air conditioning, no swamp cooler, no way to cool it, other than because of the proximity to the creek, every evening, late evening, this wonderful cold breeze comes up from the creek into our home. We open all the back windows of the home, and we fill it up with this cool air, close it down. It's super insulated. It stays chilly all day long. Now it stays chilly and a bit smelly. So we couldn't open the windows of our house. We managed to get through the very end of the summer, and when winter came, things started to get better, and we thought, finally, things are going to be fine. Grady still missed more school than he ever had throughout the year with migraines. The second spill. Robin didn't get to that. There was a second spill during the winter in the same pipeline, by the way.
In December of the same year, the pipeline leaked again.
But things were looking better because the symptoms were going away less and less and less, right? So we thought everything's fine. Spring hits. I'm actually out of the country. My wife calls me and says, he's getting sick again. We're going, what? We had to open up the windows. It heated up, though. A smell started coming back. He started getting sick. We called Robin, help, what do we do? In which time we found that many of our neighbors were making the same phone calls, that they were starting to get sick again, too. And we all thought it was done. It was over. We were all going to be just fine.
So Robin calls everyone, and they all show up at our house. Chevron, the Department of Water Quality, Department of Environmental Quality, and 2 bioengineers that Chevron has hired. And they tell us, we have been up and down this creek all morning. We've been up to our elbows, and we find no oil at all.
So we're thinking, maybe we're crazy.
That's our first thought, was we must be nuts.
Something's wrong here, because I smelled it on them when they walked up from the creek. And so I thought, maybe I'm just going to, so I said, Nina, grab your camera. I took a shovel. We walked down to the creek, stuck the shovel in the ground, brought it up, clean. Stuck the shovel in the ground, second time brought it up, covered with globules of oil, which we then sent this picture and the samples to all of them. And they said, oh, that's oil. And my thought was, how can you have 5 professionals spend a whole day looking for oil and a homeowner who knows nothing find it in 30 seconds? Some skepticism started to develop at that point. And we started to say, something's not right here. Something doesn't fit.
But the DEQ came back. This again is that's the creek, and they came back and they took some samples. About a month later, they sent us a 23-page report, most of it jargon to me, except for the email part that he said.
Now, mind you, this is over a year later, and they're saying still stay out of your creek, right? So we're getting really confused, not really knowing what to do, because on one hand, we get an email that says, avoid contact. We get another document that the city sent us saying, telling us, it's fine, you have the all clear, everything's fine. You're in great shape. There's no problems, and then
this idea of
contact.
Unnecessary contact, when the summer came again and the boys were still getting sick, both boys got sick, Michael got sick, everybody had migraines.
Right.
All of the professionals that we saw now told us to keep the kids out of the backyard. So for the second summer, we're out of the backyard.
And that's also this, and we'll get this done, we'll move pretty quickly here. We also found out at that point that the area behind our house had never been cleaned.
So
that
the cabin that runs over
right behind the treehouse down the creek, not owned by us, by the neighbors, there's a cabin that the creek runs under, and apparently because of some danger of cleaning around that cabin and complications with doing that and the expense of it, we found out they never really did clean behind our house at all.
But
although we did get the mayor saying
that recent monitoring of the creek did not reveal any locations meriting additional cleanup.
Except for behind our house, apparently, we found out. We have another document where they said it's all clear.
Well, this one said sampling is not complete.
Oh, right.
That we haven't assessed or fully understood it, even though the mayor has said it's all clear. There's another document from the Utah Department of Health, the Office of Epidemiology. They issued a report and basically said there isn't any danger.
And yet we have a 23-page report saying don't go near it. So here's where we're at. We're confused, right? We care about our kids. We built this dream home to hang out with our kids. Now, one's just turned 17. Next summer, he'll be gone probably. So he spent the last 2 years of his time with us not being able to go in his backyard. We don't get to enjoy that in any way, shape, or form. Our youngest one, we don't know if and when we'll be able to enjoy that with him. We get reports, one saying, everything's great, you're fine. Another saying, stay away. Our barometer, meaning our son, who gets very ill every time he gets around it, is saying we're still having problems. And we as parents are going, what is the case? What is the truth? What do we do? Where do we turn? How do we know if there's going to be long-term effects? How do we know, should we sell our home, this home that we built, that's our dream, took us 25 years of buying, remodeling, and fixing homes to get to the point to where we finally got our dream home built? Do we sell that? Do we move? Will it ever be cleaned behind our house? All these questions are still up in the air, and here it's up in the air, and here it's a year and a half later. We're going into winter. Next spring may be the same thing. We don't know.
We wonder if our boys will ever be able to play in the backyard. Will it be cleaned up in time for them still to be children?
And the big irony is this. Chevron was fined because this is a pipeline that is in a high consequence area, that they were fined because it's not up to standards. They did not bring it up to standard before the leak. It leaked. They were fined again. The day they set out to pay that fine, the second leak happened, even though they were going to argue it. The second leak happened. We don't know if anything's been changed yet. We haven't heard anything about being fixed. We feel a little bit like people in Europe during the Cold War, wondering if something's going to happen again. Health-wise, we're not sure what's happening. So I guess we'll end with this, just say, when you talk about reaching zero incidents, please take that seriously. We didn't have the kinds of things with explosions and that kind of thing. This was a leak that doesn't get mentioned much because it wasn't quite as big as some of the other ones. And yet for our lives and for many of our neighbors, one incident is enough to really mess up your lives and dreams. So I just want to encourage this group to take that challenge of zero incidents seriously, because the ones who kind of pay for it on their backs is those of us who get dumped on. So thank you.